How you guys doing? My name's Luke, and in today's video, we're going to be going over how I stay warm in a tiny house. So it actually is really easy to stay warm in a tiny house. It's probably harder if you don't have heat in a normal house, but in a tiny house you don't have hardly anywhere to heat. So when I'm just lounging in here, I just got in here, so I'm wearing a sweatshirt and my coat. But when I get in here, I turn the heater on and let it heat up. It doesn't take hardly not even 15 minutes, and it's already heated up, and then I can lounge. The only thing is with my house is I didn't insulate the floor, so the floor is kind of cold. But I do have like a little floor mat that keeps the floor a little warmer on my feet. And the heater I have is right here. I just turn that on. I give it space from everything else. I just turn it on. It blows nice warm air out, and then I just have it plugged in over here. But I actually have two heaters in this house, and so I have one that's down here that I use almost every day. That just keeps the whole house warm. And then when I sleep in here, I have one up here. So when I'm sleeping in here, there's no need for me to have two heaters, or any time to have two heaters going at the same time. So when I sleep, I don't need to heat down here because no one's down here during the night. This can stay cold during the night. Not too cold, it stays warm because there's a heater up here. But it doesn't need to be warm, like comfortable warm. So what I do is I don't have the sheets in my bed right now because I just washed them. But I have that heater right there, and that's kind of like a fireplace heater. It's a smaller heater, and it's not as powerful as the one down here. I turn that one on at night. It kind of gives a nice glow from the fireplace, and that's what I use up there. So I only have to heat up here because it is so easy to heat up here since it's just so small that you almost get too hot. I have to crack the window open. I can also put this heater on demo mode, which just goes through its like little fireplace setting, and it's quite cozy up here. I'm just turning the heater on. Literally, I just got in here, and it's already warming up here because heat rises, so all the heat stays up here. So when I heat this area up, none of the heat goes downstairs because heat rises, it doesn't go down. So that is one way to really stay warm in here, and that's why I always tell people I enjoy staying here during the winter and not the summer, because it's so much easier to heat than to cool. But I also do have a fan up here, right there, that I use to push some of the heat down here if I'm just sitting up here. But really, this house is so easy to heat and stay warm that I just love it during the winter. What kind of insulation I have in the walls, it's R13, so it's nothing really special, but it gets the job done, and I don't think I need anything else than that. I mean, it also depends where you're living. So if you're living in Florida, you might want like a little higher, not for the cold, but to keep cold air in for during the summer. But if you're living in like Alaska, you want pretty high insulation because how cold it gets there. So it also depends where you live. R13 for where I live is really good. It's perfect for this little tiny house because it's also really easy to heat. You guys saw in the last video how I put tape along my door to keep insects and just to keep some of the draft out. Well, it's still there, and I'm also going to get some weather stripping that's going to seal the door off even better during the winter because there is kind of a breeze that goes through, and also some of the bugs do get through when fall hit. It's kind of cold enough that the bugs aren't out anymore, but when all those like box elder bugs can get through, it's kind of annoying. Also, kind of a tip I learned from the fall is leave the curtains open, because since these are black curtains, all the bugs attract the heat that it makes, and they all want to get inside here. So I've always learned, learn stuff, and I killed a lot of bugs this fall from they all want to get in here, but everyone deals with that during fall. So I've been seeing a lot of comments lately that have been really cool. A lot of kids I see that are trying to convince their parents and trying to build tiny houses, or they're saving up money now and they're going to go build it in a couple months. And it's really neat to see all these 12 to 15-year-olds or even younger, doing this kind of stuff after I've showed them that you can actually do it. Now, I see this comment a lot: how did you convince your parents to actually let me do it? And it was simple enough. It took me around 3 weeks to convince them to let them actually know that I'm actually interested in doing it. And once they knew that I was actually really interested in doing it, then they started listening up. So you kind of beg them every day, you know, like, oh, you know, I want to build a tiny house. And you also let them know that you're going to be paying for it. And like, I spent almost a year reclaiming materials, finding materials that you know you can get for free. A lot of this house is built with reclaimed materials, which kept the price low for me, and also saved a lot of money. Because I mean, this door, that window right behind you guys, this cabinet right here, this piece of glass right here. A lot of these, there's one piece of insulation back here. There's a stud back there that's reclaimed. I mean, a lot of this stuff is just reclaimed, and I got it for free. And a lot of people just want to give stuff away. So really make sure to use reclaimed materials. I think my number one tip I give people is use reclaimed materials, because you'll thank yourself in the long run. Also, it just adds character. Now, a lot of my stuff isn't like that old. It's just stuff that was in someone's garage or basement that they weren't using, and I put to use. So if you're out there and you want to build a house, just keep trying to convince your parents. I know they'll let you. Also, in the mail yesterday, I got this. Now, if you guys don't know what this is Micro Shelters by Derek Dickerson. I believe he is in Texas right now at the Tiny House Jamboree, and they're all going to his channel because he was a speaker there as well, and they're finding the video that he of me that I was on there. It's almost at 1 million views, and people are then going to my channel because a lot of you guys are new subscribers. I think last weekend when we did the live stream, I hit 5,000 that day, so I think that was Saturday, the live stream, I hit 5,000. Then Monday, I hit 6,000, and we're very close. I think we're like 60 away from hitting 7,000. So we're gaining really fast, and I think it's a lot of attention from his video. Also, my video, the Tiny House Tour, is at over 6 million views. That's a lot of views, and me and him were talking a while back, when I had like 1,000 subscribers, and he told me he was going to send me his book, and it just now got here. I've been reading through. It's a really good book. If you guys know his first book, that's this one right here. That's the one I bought a while back and inspired me to build this house. I have a bookmark still from when I had it, and the bookmark was about this kind of like coffin thing. That really interested me, and then this one right here that you can kind of see in the design that looks pretty similar to mine. Mine's just a lot bigger. So this one's Humble Homes, Simple Shacks, Cozy Cottages, Relaxed Shackle, Retreats, Funky Forts. It's really good, and like I heard like all these sketches, some of them he did, but a lot of these were like when he was like in high school, he just sketched them down. But it's a really neat way to put a book. It's very interesting, you always are intrigued to what he has to say. His new one is a little like easier to read, but it has like a ton of cool stuff in it. So his design of like the one-pitch roof, I really took into my design. So a lot of these designs kind of inspired my build, and I'm really appreciate to have this book. So thank you, Derek, for sending this to me. I've went through the pages already, but I'll make sure to read almost every page. And Derek's book, he signed it. It says, "Keep kicking butt, Luke," Deke, in his signature. And it has a 2017, this little guy. Now, I think he just drew that, but if you guys remember me, in a lot of my videos, my older videos, I had a buck tooth, and it's kind of cool he put that there. But I no longer have a buck tooth. See? If anyone sleeps in a bunk bed or lives in a tiny house, you know the struggle of putting your sheets on. It's a very big struggle of us tiny house people. questions during this video. Another question I get is, do I live in here full time? And the answer is no, I don't live in here full time. I do live in my family's house majority of the time, but I do come out here and visit it quite often. It's just a nice little retreat. I had friends over last weekend. We watched Netflix movies on the TV back here, and it's just like really fun to hang out in. I cook meals in here. Mostly during the winter, I sleep up in there just because, as I explained already, it's just so much more comfortable. And when I do build my second tiny house in a couple years and I sell this one, I will live in that full time. But this is just kind of like a little hut, you know, like a little practice house that I built to learn as much skills as possible. Another question I get is, where do I live? I live in Iowa. Now, I noticed in the tour video that got like 6 million views, I was wearing a Missouri shirt that had a college from Missouri on it. I went to Missouri and visited a college there. That was really fun. I really liked that shirt, so I was wearing it. But I'm not from Missouri. I am from Iowa, and that's another answer to that question. Before I end this video, happy Halloween. I know it was yesterday. I just saw this, so I had stuff going on. I didn't go trick-or-treating. I haven't gone in a couple years, but I was doing some stuff for my troop, and on my way back home, I noticed that I left my outside light on in my tiny house. Now, I live quite a bit off from the main road that some of my friends know, and it's kind of, my driveway is quite steep. So now we have never had a trick-or-treater come up our driveway, but it would have been really funny if a trick-or-treater came to my front door, because I had my front light on. You can see my house somewhat from the street, especially with the light on when it's dark out, but that I kind of thought of that on the way home last night. So that's all I have for this video. Sorry if it wasn't the best. I'm kind of stressed on time right now. I won't be available this weekend. I'm camping with my troop. It's a really big Corps d'Honneur. And I'm also the senior patrol leader, so I have to really make sure I'm there. But I'll try to get a better video out next week. I hope that you guys learn some stuff about tiny house and how it takes long to heat, how it doesn't take long to heat, and how easy it is. But I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks. Bye.